Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
So the teacher says, what do you get when you crossbreed a cow and a shark? Nobody raised their hands except a little bitty farm boy, and he says, I don't know, teacher, but I sure wouldn't want to try milking it. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning, good morning. And a good morning to you. Zeb at the Ranch on a day before Thanksgiving. A very, very important day. We've got a lot to be thankful for. You bet we do. Hey, listen, this program brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And get ready for winter driving. Stop into any one of the 7 locations. And don't forget, too, the very best of our advertisers, Western Waste Services. Always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Right now, let's go to the phone line and have a Pledge of Allegiance person. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Doug, you do a really, really good job. Call me back, buddy. I'll talk to you a little later. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right, take care. Hey, it is time for the weather. And the weather brought to you by K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn on the Burley Paul Highway. Roger and the crew, they open the doors early in the morning at 7 o'clock, serving you, 678-3122, the number to call. Hey, by the way, don't forget the Christmas holidays are around the corner. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. And if you've got sewer problems, don't forget they've got sewer snakes to help you out. And believe me, there's still time to do the main lines or the sprinkler blowouts before it freezes. And get a hold of them today, K&R Rental in Heyburn. Right now, here's Scotty with the weather.
Well, things are going to be unseasonably beautiful for the holiday season. For your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast, Scotty Cameron sitting in for Gina Jameson. Today, going to be beautiful, partly sunny skies, expecting a high around 60. Mostly clear for tonight. Then for Turkey Day, mostly sunny and a high of 62. Now for Thursday night, it looks like a 20% chance of rain, lows around 41. Then for Friday, mostly sunny, a high of 55. Friday night, partly cloudy and a low of 36. Then on Saturday, partly sunny, a high of 58. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, and that's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
I'll tell you what, Scotty, thank you very much for filling in this morning. And the weather brought to you by K&R Rental at 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn. Call them. They've got all the tools for you, all the equipment for you to finish your construction projects. K&R Rental, the best, absolutely. Wow, busy day today. I'll bet you all the moms out there and the grandmas and the aunts and everybody is out there getting the turkey ready to go and the stuffing and the pumpkin pie and the pecan pies and, oh, man, all the biscuits. Oh, Thanksgiving tomorrow. And like I said, we've got a whole bunch to be thankful for. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Before we get into things this morning, I wanted to remind you about Ramsey Heating and Electric. You know, along with just talking about them on the radio, I work with a lot of, almost all of my advertisers and sponsors. And I needed some help the other day. We had some electrical problems, and they sent over Jared, and I'm telling you what, personable, really got to the crux of the problem, did the job. They can help you with all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs. Absolutely. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, 678-0459. They're open 7:30 in the morning till 5, Monday through Friday. You stop over and see them today. I have big news. Big news for you. You might win a recliner. How? Well, I'll tell you what. Merry Christmas from Denny's, America's Diner, and Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. We've kind of all teamed up, and we're going to be giving away a beautiful Flex Steel recliner. All you need to do starting today is to go into Denny's restaurant, have your dinner, your breakfast, your lunch, whatever, sign your dinner receipt, and put your name on it, telephone number, and we're going to have the big drawing for this recliner coming up on December 14th over at Denny's when I do that remote broadcast. Holy moly! You can win a really comfortable, great recliner. You better get in there. Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland and Burley, and also another location serving you in Twin at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin. Absolutely delicious food, great people, America's Diner, Denny's Restaurant. Man, that's a neat deal. And we're going to have the drawing for that on December 14th while we're over there with our remote broadcast. So, oh boy, have we got a lot of good things going for the month of December. All right, calls are welcome and appreciated. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know what? I started hearing about this next story. You know me and my old German temper, it went through the roof. Really? We, the taxpayers, you, me, Doug, everybody out there, we are having to pay to get our senators and congressmen off the hook. What am I talking about? We, the people that are having a very hard time in making ends meet, we are providing the money for over a $17 million hush. Shh, be quiet. Don't say anything. Keep it under your hat. A $17 million hush fund for our representatives and senators that need to shut up their mistresses. I'm not kidding. Case in point, Michigan's John Conyers. This old, evil, disgusting reprobate used our money to shut up a couple of women. We don't know how many women, but we do know two at least. Your money and my money. Tax money. I just got done paying my tax bill. Okay? To the IRS. I'm sure you did too. And that was really like robbing Peter to pay Paul in a lot of instances, to come up with the money to pay your taxes, to be a citizen, a good American. And then these absolute destitute of any morality politicians are using some of our money to create a don't tell shush fund. If I was back there in the halls of Congress right now, caller, I'll be right with you, whether it be the House or the Senate, and I found out who it was, honestly, I just want to go up and just poke them right in the nose and then be arrested for assaulting a federal senator or congressman. But this is absolutely insane. Caller, I'm going to ask your indulgence. Stay with me just 30 seconds. I want to quickly tell everybody about Pomerel Place. A place for senior living. Oh, my goodness, yes. They offer the ability for seniors to maintain their independence both safely and comfortably at a Pomerelle place. I've been there and I looked at the place, took the tour with Holly Rowe. Wow. And it's really a great place, especially during the holidays when people get a little lonesome about all the past family activities and everything. Listen, isolation, safety hazards, injuries, poor nutrition, missed medication at home alone? Pomerelle Place absolutely can create safety and living comfortably for you. Give them a call. Find out more. 677-8212. Pomerelle Place, a place for senior living at 1301 Bennett Street in Burley. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
You know, Zeb, we pay these guys a huge amount of money to represent us, and they aren't representing us. They don't even develop a budget anymore. They don't really do what they're supposed to do. They're letting the judges and the bureaucrats pass the laws, and it's their job. To me, it's just an argument for term limits.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. I'll tell you something, Jerry. You are a very, very good American, and you're so loyal to your friends and so loyal to helping your community. Really, honestly, if you had a chance to address these sleazeballs, what would you tell them?
I'd tell them, get off the pot, do the job. You know, they get huge amounts of pay, plus they get, $1 million a year additional benefits. Plus, they get their mail and all that sent out for them. It's ridiculous what they're getting. They need to be cut back to what a specialist or an E5 in the service makes.
Yeah.
And that should be what they get.
Yeah, but to think...
They don't do the job that an E5 in the service does.
I agree.
They don't do this country any good at all that I can see. They're just a waste of life and a waste of time.
Well, not all of them. I mean, we got to be really careful, Jerry. You know as well as I do that not all of them follow under the category of sleaze. But for the ones that do, honestly, I want to know who they are. I've got to find out their names. I'm going to publish the names on the radio. Those like John Conyers should be bounced out right now. He should be forced to retire and be replaced. And this is what I'm going to go for.
Well, they need to be proven they're guilty. You know, the Democrats attack every Republican that goes in with sexual harassment of some kind, it seems like.
Yeah.
And I might be wrong on that, but it just sounds to me like they do every time. They find somebody they can pay to come forward and make that accusation.
Yeah.
I don't trust them at all anymore.
Well, and I think...
probably better get off. I'm saying too much.
All right, Jerry. Happy.
Great people that are, in there and, elected by a lot of people.
Yeah.
But boy, it's sure disgusting to me what's happening.
I agree. Jerry, may I extend to you and your family, all of your family, a very happy Thanksgiving.
And I extend that to every one of them persons out there listening to you today, and may the Lord bless them all, even our congressman.
All right. Thank you, Jerry. God bless you, man. Thanks a lot. I tell you, I'm just really upset about it. Let me tell you a little bit more about John Conyers in just a moment. This old reprobate, and I have nothing decent to say about him, and I refuse to. He's an old reprobate Democrat that has abused the system, broken the laws, and not only him, in his family. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Don't forget Keelix Supplements. Hello, Scott Mitten, 435-230-1175. A very important supplement of vitamins and minerals for your livestock. Get a hold of Scott today and talk about Keelix Supplements. They absolutely are going to provide your cattle what they need. Whether it's cattle, beef, dairy, horses, sheep, and goats, Keelix has the product for your livestock to keep them healthy, keep them with all the nutrients they need. You get a hold of him today. Scott Minton at 435-230-1175. Keelix Supplements, a very important supplement of vitamins and minerals for your livestock. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Don't go away. I also want to remind everybody, oh my goodness sakes, is there some big happenings going on? Let's see. I want to remind you about Forever Green. They have a little deal to helping you with your Christmas tree lights, and they have custom fitting Christmas tree light strands that they can help put up around your property. All you need to do to get a bid and find out how much it would be and how much time saving and effort it would be is call Forever Green Lawn and Tree Care. That number again, for Evergreen Lawn and Tree Care, 423-6454. As I said, designing custom fitting light strands to match the specific needs of your house or business. You get a hold of them today for a free quote, 423-6454. For Evergreen Lawn and Tree Care. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
You know, when did lying come into fashion? When Bill Clinton was able to get away with it? Or is this something that's been going on for ages in the Senate? When they swear, when they're swore in, they're swore to take care of everything, and they need to put the truth in there somewhere, because that seems to be a problem for some people.
Well, you know, they swear a lot, but they're breaking the law a lot. And look at this, though, Keith. You're a former businessman. You've been in business for years and years. Here's John Conyers, and he's got women coming out of the woodwork accusing him of sexual harassment. And then you look at the rest of the family. I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but his wife, John Conyers' wife, served prison time for taking bribe money. Oh, what a great, wholesome, all-American family.
Yeah, this politics just drives us crazy. It's a feeding frenzy for the media.
I agree.
It's every day something new.
I agree.
But you know what really bugs me is this Lois Lerner.
Oh, boy.
After she pled the fifth, and now somehow she's going to have her records locked up, so you can't do anything more to her.
I hope that's not true. And Wheels over at the station ride the gain. I'm getting feedback again this morning. I hope that's not going to happen that way, because she absolutely does not deserve the privacy. Those are public records. The public should know what was said. There was a lot of denigration and hurt that was caused to Tea Party members and other people through the IRS. And I hope they open them up. I'm not going to buy this wailing and crying from her saying, oh, well, if everybody knows what I said, they're probably will have something as an intimidation against my health. I'll be afraid. I don't care. You did it. You caused it. That's public record. Open them up.
Why is it that we've come to the point, like if we're listening to the radio and a congressman comes on there, you can tell immediately what party they're affiliated with. Now, isn't that something? We're supposed to all be working together.
You're going to get partisan politics, but I have never seen the vile and the filth like it is now. And I said this a couple of months ago. I have changed my idea all the way on term limits, and quite frankly, I think we need to implement it and throw the bums out.
They came on Fox News last night. They came up to 300 years of adding up some of these senators that have been in there for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
300 years.
Yeah. And that's
they're 85, 86, 87. I'm 80.
Yeah, but that's 200.
I would be able to do a good job there.
It's 299 years too many in most cases, I'll tell you that. Thank you, Keith. God bless you. Thank you.
I would like to see a change. I think like 18 years in the Senate, and maybe 10 years or 11 years in the Congress, because they just get a little too comfortable.
Well, I think there should be a stipulation on that, Keith, that if they don't do a good job, they should be tied to a wooden raft with a hole in it and floated out Chesapeake Bay towards the ocean.
Well, if you were working for somebody, and you worked for the Rodeo Association for many years, if somebody come on there and set you down and said, Zeb, what did you do here, what did you do there, and everything else like that, then I think these people would try to be a little more efficient or whatever in their their business.
I
Not
wonder.
just their business, but our business.
I wonder. Keith, I got to run. I got to do a commercial break. Thank you for calling in this morning. Thank you.
You bet.
All right.
Bye.
Hey, don't forget Dino Septic Service over in Rupert. Now, you know, I had a guy call me the other day. I guess it was, what is today? Wednesday? It was Monday. And he said, holy mackerel, he says, I wouldn't want to do all that drain cleaning and pumping out those sewers and septic tanks. I said, no, me neither. That's why you need to get a hold of Dino Septic Service over in Rupert. Number to call, 436-6526, or in Burley, 678-1638. Fast, fair, friendly service. And, oh, by the way, you know what? You better get a hold of them if you need your sewer and sink drain lines cleaned or pumped out before the ground freezes. It freezes, you got problems. Trouble in River City. Get a hold of them today, Dino Septic Service, with that great big truck that says, smells cargo on the way. I love that. Great people at Dino Septic Service in Rupert. Really, really good folks. Oh, by the way, too, don't forget Redder Showcase. My goodness, Friday, Black Friday this week, they're going to have a huge, that means really, really big, Serta mattress sale. Yep. Black Friday sale. And believe me, they've got all of their Serta products marked down for this huge one-day event, like twin mattresses starting at just $99. Are you kidding me? And they have queen sets starting at $299. Wow. Up to 18 months, same as cash on approved credit. Where? I told you. Redder Showcase, 2611 Overland and Burley. This is going to be a fantastic sale. You better get in there on Black Friday. Redder Showcase in Burley. Really, really good people. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, this John Conyers deal, and he's not the only one. I mean, what a sleazeball. And what he's done is just basically steal money from us. And he's a very racist person. And his wife, I didn't make that up a few minutes ago, you know, she served time in prison for taking bribe money. Oh, that's fantastic leadership for this great country, isn't it? But we've got to clean up our Congress, our Senate, and our House. Where do they get off? And who was the main instigator of starting a hush fund with our tax money to shut up their sexual daredevil deeds? I mean, I had other words in my mind, but I had to just kind of watch it a little bit. It's pathetic to think that we, the taxpayers, are funding all their sins. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Well, good morning, Zeb. I've been listening a little bit to your program, not very much this morning. But I'd like to say one thing. You know, politicians and diapers both need to be changed for the same reason.
You added a little levity the day before Thanksgiving. And you know what? I could not agree with that statement more. And in many cases, the politicians are worse than the depends.
Okay, well, thank you very much for letting me say my piece.
All right, sir. God bless you.
Thanksgiving.
You too. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I like that. Oh, my goodness sakes. Let's see what we've got next. Oh, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. I wanted to remind you that if you've got some aches and pains and recovering from surgery or maybe a broken bone or whatever it might be, I am not exaggerating when I say they help me so much, and they can help you too. They can help you get back to being you. All you need to do is make an appointment at 678-1191. I'll repeat, 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation in Burley. Nick Greenwell, can I say his name without biting my lip? Nick Greenwell and all the physical therapists over there really do a great job on all the exercises. And, of course, the hydrotherapy pool. Oh, man, that is really good for you. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. It is the truth. You call them at 678-1191. They can help you get back to being you. Really good people. By the way, I am so blessed to have, like I've said many times, the cream of the crop on this program of advertisers, sponsors, etc. Caller, I'll be right there, I promise. And I am blessed. Kyle James and his staff at the Urgent Cares, I've known Kyle for quite some time. Just really a straight shooter from the get-go. Great people. Well, the 3 Urgent Cares serving you and your family. Urgent Care of Twin Falls at 2392 Addison Avenue East in Twin. Riverview Urgent Care in Burley at 382 North Overland in Burley, and Urgent Care of Jerome, 133 West Avenue A in Jerome. Providing services that you need, everyday services you need for you and your family, whether it's lacerations stitched up or sprains, strains, and fractures, or pre-employment physicals, drug screening, DOT physicals. I'm telling you what, and they can save you money. That is the bottom line right there. Why not just pay for the services that you need, and you can pay just for those services and take care of about 96% of all your health care at the Urgent Cares. Open 7 days a week with extended hours, qualified providers always on staff. At the Urgent Cares, Riverview Urgent Care in Burley, 382 North Overland, Urgent Care of Twin Falls on Addison Avenue East, and Urgent Care of Jerome on West Avenue A. Don't forget the Urgent Cares. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, Zeb, I just want to, first off, I want to say Happy Thanksgiving, and if I don't get on before Christmas, I want to say Merry Christmas.
All right.
So, hey, I might make some of your callers mad, but I think all our representatives have to go. The only one I was really ever impressed with is running for governor now, because he was the only one who I felt, Labrador was the only one I felt was there for Idaho, would stand up for Idaho, would actually, have a voice. I mean, we would see him in the national news, we'd see him fighting for things, and you know what? I don't think anybody in the nation knows who our other 2 senators are and their other representatives.
In some cases, I would have to disagree with you somewhat. I know that there's been a lot of coverage about what Mike Crapo has done fighting Obamacare. I know there's been a lot of coverage about Jim Risch standing up, and just here the other day, and I'm not trying to arbitrate with you because you're such a dear friend and you know what's going on, but the other day Jim Risch was given high accolades because he is standing up on the Senate floor and telling people, hey, come on, we got to get our act cleaned up. So I'm not saying that I'm pushing them further than Labrador or whatever, but I will say that Crapo, with his work on fighting Obamacare, and Risch fighting the kind of a lazy, brazenly, all-for-us attitude in the Senate, I think they've done better than most.
Well, yeah, they're showing up, but the problem I've had with them is that I've just felt like they've been silent, and then they both have been very critical about the Trump administration, and yet I think that what they should have been doing is sounding the trumpet of, hey, let's get along, let's get things going. But, they've kind of jumped on the bandwagon, and I think Crapo in the past, Crapo's a nice guy, but I think in the past he's shown that, he's more than persuaded to fall in line with a lot of the other people. I mean, you look at things that have happened in his life in the past and stuff like that. I don't want to hash it up, but I don't know. I just wish we had people who were more for themselves and didn't care about anything.
Well, you know what?
Idaho.
I've got to interrupt you a little bit here because I think you and I are on the same page. And I think if you were elected as a senator, and Wheels, again, watch that feedback, please. If you were elected as a senator and I were elected as a senator, I have a feeling that we would be sanctioned by the Senate Rules Committee, because I would not be above taking off one of my cowboy boots and beating it on the desk and saying, now listen, you clowns looking for a circus, we're here to work for the American people, not for ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. We would be under the ethics force for doing what's right, and we'd be cashed out. We'd be the ones who'd be kicked out because we're not part of the old boys network up there, which is absolutely making me sick. And I think if old Roy Moore didn't have everything looming on his negative with the sexual harassment and stuff like that, I think he would be a really good asset to the team. But I don't know what's going to happen there.
I will say one thing, and I know I'm going to get some trouble over this, but let's just look at what I'm saying very calmly and give me your impression. But in this country, whether it is a person arrested for bank robbery, whether it is a person that's arrested for murder, whether it's a person that is arrested for the allegations or threatened with allegations of sexual misconduct, it still goes back to the old adage of our laws. You are innocent until proven guilty.
Oh, yeah, and I think I agree with you there. And I think what makes it really hard with this whole thing with Roy Moore is he was so hated to begin with, before he even threw his hat in to run.
Yeah.
It just makes you really wonder what's really going on and if we're ever going to get to the bottom of it, because the smear campaign, I think you were talking about the Clintons earlier. They have made it such a science of destroying people. That's how do you fight that?
Yeah. I think, though, that there's some big cracks in the foundation of the Clinton Foundation, and I'm talking great big fissures that I'm starting to see some of the bricks fall out of the masonry, and honestly, this is how I feel. Maybe you don't agree with me. Some people would say it's vindictiveness, but I would absolutely love, honestly, to see Hillary and Bill wearing bright orange with numbers over their left lapel, walking down the lane into a state penitentiary.
Oh, I said that'd be the best Christmas present ever.
Okay, got to run. Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Zeb.
All right. Good man right there. Good man. Hey, I got to pay some bills and wish you some happy Thanksgivings from some really good people. Snake River Auto Body and Paint at 404 4th Avenue West in Twin Falls. And my buddy Ken and Dan, the rest of the crew, 734-5790. They are the best at fixing up your vehicle. Snake River Auto Body and Paint, wishing you a happy Thanksgiving. Streamline Precision with our old buddy. I'll tell you, Tim, good morning to you. 120 South, 100 West of Burley. Streamline Precision does it all. Excavation, underground piping, and utilities, everything. And they want you to have a very happy Thanksgiving from Streamline Precision. Pickett Equipment Company. Hello, Steve. I'll tell you what, the best right there at Pickett Equipment Company, 976 East Main in Burley. And innovative farm equipment, bean equipment from Pickett Equipment since way back in the 1970s, urging you to have a very happy Thanksgiving. And Kyla and the rest of the crew over at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, these are nice ladies over there. 1177 7th Avenue in Hayburn. My goodness sakes, they've got that visitor center with that special little gift product store right there. Oh, made in Idaho. It's fantastic. Stop in today. Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, wishing you a very happy Thanksgiving. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call on the landline, if you would, please. I'd love to hear from you. And again, while I'm waiting for your call to come in, and I know it's on the way, I want to remind you, too, about Barry Equipment and Rental. Hello, Barry's. I'm telling you, they got a beautiful office over there on Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls. And then they've got another office at 2331 South Lincoln in Jerome, and then one over here at the Burley location, and the rest of the crew at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. They've got all the equipment to get the job done right. Yes, they do. They got everything, including all the Bobcats in different shapes and sizes. And they've got new and used excavators for sale or rent. Oh, you've never driven one? Neither have I, but they'll teach you out in the sandbox. All you got to do is stop in and see them today. Barry Equipment and Rental. Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Really good people. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I am absolutely amazed as to how the liberal left media, they can turn the story of what's going on in the NFL against Donald Trump and against us, that we don't want them kneeling. We don't want them sitting for the national anthem. We don't want their disrespect, these overpaid, underworked prima donna athletes, and they are. And the paper USA Today made me so mad yesterday and frustrated as to their left-wing politics, and they wear it on their sleeve when they write every article. An article written by Martin Rogers of USA Today said the headline was this: When will Trump stick to politics? And the subheadline said, President keeps attacking the NFL. And after I take this call, I'm going to give you some of the excerpts of this absolutely stupid editorial by this Martin Rogers. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning again. You know, the other day on I think it was on Fox, Orrin Hatch was speaking and everything, and do you remember who that was that kept interrupting him? I don't know whether it was Al Franken or it was somebody that was caustic just like Al Franken. And he just really lit into him. Did you see that?
No, I'm trying to remember the circumstances, and I don't remember exactly every conversation, but go ahead and make your point, Keith. Go ahead.
Well, the thing of it is, this man has always been kind of laid back and, you know, likes to sing and do things like that. But this time, this guy really made him angry, and I can't remember what the point was, but he really laid into him. He didn't use any foul language or anything, but kind of put him in his place. And he's one of the most senior senators there is.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. Hold on a second. You're talking about that conversation that got rather heated in the Senate hearing with Orrin Hatch of Utah, and I can't remember the Democrat, but yeah, it was really heated, and I really gained a lot of respect for Orrin Hatch, looking at the guy right in the eye, looking at him, and then really telling him where the goat ate the cabbage in the garden.
That's a good way to put it, because he didn't hold back on anything, but he didn't use one single foul language.
No, he didn't have to.
Into the guy, and the guy knew he'd been scolded.
Well, and he needed to be scolded. The guy, the Democrat, was acting like a complete imbecile, which seems to be a trait of that party. And Orrin Hatch just straightened out his line of attack and let him know that he was not the brightest star in the sky.
No, I was thinking it was Al Franken. But
no, it was not Al Franken.
It could have been somebody else.
No, it was not Al Franken. I think it was a guy by the name of Rogers, but I'll check it out, and we'll have it on the air. Keith, God bless you, man. Got to run. Thank you.
You bet.
All right, thank you. Caller, I'll be right there. Don't go away. I want to remind everybody again about a great big Black Friday sale. When? Well, on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. A great big Black Friday sale on mattresses at Redder Showcase, 2611 Overland and Burley. Oh, my. Huge Serta mattress Black Friday sale. You'd better get in there. You don't want to miss this. Holy mackerel, this could be for your sleeping comfort for a long time. Get in there this Friday at Redder Showcase, 2611 Overland and Burley. Up to 18 months, same as cash on approved credit. Wow. And they've got twin mattresses starting as low as just $99. I'm not kidding. All of this and more at Redder Showcase this Black Friday. Yep, 2611 Overland in Burley. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, it was Sherrod Brown from senator from Ohio.
Right.
And yeah, and it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to sound like I know more. It's just, this is the thing. This is what I have. Whenever I've talked to Senator Crapo, I never get to talk to Rich as much. But my attitude is, why don't you speak up and fight back? At least say something to help to reflect your voters' beliefs. I says, why don't you fight back? Why don't you at least, do what Orrin Hatch did to Sherrod Brown? He shut that dude down, and if we did it more often, we would get less flack from these lunatics on the left who are destroying our country.
I agree.
And see, we wait for somebody else to go out and do it. Nothing's going to change until we do it ourselves. And it's so frustrating because we just keep waiting for somebody else to do the job. A government of the people, by the people, for the people isn't going to work if the people don't give a you-know-what.
Well, listen, let me pose the same scenario to you, my dear friend, as I did to the Mouse Man a little bit ago. What would you think would be we got feedback wheels, you got to ride that game. What would you think would be our ethics violations if you and I were both senators? I think they'd probably throw us out into the Potomac, wouldn't they?
Well, as slow as justice happens in D.C. for elected officials, you and I, it may never occur, see, because you see, you and I, in some respects, would get swift and sure punishment for our actions if we deserved it.
Yep.
Back there, they can, molest and grope and have sex in the White House. And nothing really, it doesn't really matter because without the government, without elected officials, you poor peasants wouldn't have a government and then things would fall apart.
Well, let me interrupt you there.
The depravity of these people that are back there in that cesspool.
Yeah.
The sewer. You know that thing where all your bad water goes into your septic tank? That's what's back there. And you see, when just like the other day when Risch jumped on against Judge Roy Moore, I said, well, I thought Risch was a better man. And I'm going to tell you, I was going to call his office and let him know how I felt, let his aides know.
Well, wait a minute. Whoa, Randy, wait a minute. I feel that you're also kind of agreeing with me somewhat that I think the media and a lot of the do-gooders in our audience and every audience across America, they forget the fact that you are innocent until, here's the key word, proven guilty. And this jumping on and making an assessment of Roy Moore, or for that matter, anybody where the proof's not in the pudding, to me that's totally silly, stupid, and absolutely against the base of our country for the last 270 years.
Well, what's going to happen with this Roy Moore thing is the election will come December 12th. And I don't know yet, but I get the feeling that Roy Moore will be reelected because the people of Alabama will see through it.
Yeah.
And then it will just, unless something occurs, I don't see how there's ever going to be any proof that anything was done. It's just hearsay, accusation. I mean, anybody can accuse anybody of anything.
That is exactly
whenever
right.
They feel like it.
That is exactly right.
That is nothing. But you see, it can destroy your career.
Yep.
It can destroy your life.
And the thing is, Randy, that for decades, and many, many times at the ballot box, on the various elections, Roy Moore, other politicians, why? Why were people waiting 40, almost 50 years to come out and say something? And I'm having a hard time trying to swallow some of their excuses. If they were that distraught, like they are now in front of the cameras crying after 50 years, where was all this emotion years ago?
Exactly. See, did they get paid? What are they going to gain from it? Are they Republicans? Are they Democrats? How is it that this Democratic national machine, these liberals that are always on the go, they're always underneath digging away at the foundation of our country, and they will destroy people's lives, and they couldn't care less. And you see, they're so depraved that if we knew the personal habits of whether or not they're Democrats or entertainers and how depraved these people really are,
yeah,
I don't know that we'd be shocked, but you see, it's just like I don't ever have to listen to Charlie Rose again.
Yeah, I got to run, Randy, and I've got to get a weather forecast on here, but you brought up some excellent points this morning, and to you and your family, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving and then Merry Christmas.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. Hey, the weather this hour brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Absolutely. Dr. Christine Pickup, Doctor of Audiology, and they're right behind the Minidoka Hospital across from the emergency room. Number to call. Make an appointment, 312-0957. That's right. If you're noticing a diminishment in your hearing, call. Get a hearing screening today. I urge you to do that. 312-0957. Right now, here's Scotty with the weather.
Well, things are going to be unseasonably beautiful for the holiday season. For your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast, Scotty Cameron sitting in for Gina Jameson. Today, going to be beautiful, partly sunny skies, expecting a high around 60. Mostly clear for tonight. Then for Turkey Day, mostly sunny and a high of 62. Now for Thursday night, it looks like a 20% chance of rain, lows around 41. Then for Friday, mostly sunny, a high of 55. Friday night, partly cloudy and a low of 36. Then on Saturday, partly sunny, a high of 58. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, and that's your weather forecast for Zeb.
Oh, my goodness sakes. I mean to tell you that Dr. Christine Pickup, she knows hearing, and she knows sound. And I guarantee you she can help you. Please write it down. Write the number down, 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Make an appointment today. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. You know, we have so much to be thankful for living in this great part of the country. The farmers, the ranchers, all of those that work hard to produce the food. And, you know, going clear back to President Washington, he, you know, had a proclamation that November the 26th in 1789 would be Thanksgiving for God's blessings and for the new Constitution, of course, that was just ratified, and Lincoln, and then even during the Civil War, you know, put out a proclamation that the last Thursday, November, would be a, quote, day of thanksgiving and praise to a beneficent Father. And, of course, it wasn't until 1941 that Congress actually passed the law declaring the fourth Thursday in November as America's Thanksgiving Day. But, you know, despite all of the things that are going on in this country and around the world, we have so much to be thankful for. And I just give thanks to God for the blessings of life and liberty and being born in this country, because my grandfather, ancestors, many of them grew up in pretty harsh conditions and were able to immigrate to this country or went through a lot to be, you know, I think we all need to be thankful for all the blessings that we have, for the freedoms that we still enjoy despite all of the problems we have today.
I agree.
I just think that we really be, when we're sitting down to that Thanksgiving meal, think about all the hard works of sweat and labor that went into producing that food, and just the grocery stores and the distribution people to get it to us. We take it so much for granted, and we take our liberties so much for granted too, but we need to give thanks to God for all the blessings of our families and friends, and for the great land of America in which we live.
I agree. I really agree with you, and thank you so much for those kind thoughts. Adrian, got to run and do a commercial, but happy Thanksgiving to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and you too.
All right, sir. That was nice. Thank you very, very much. Want to remind you that, yeah, we're going to have some great weather the next couple of days. You heard Scotty saying 60s and high 50s, but you know that it's around the corner that all of a sudden we're going to be driving on ice and snow and yuck. Well, you better get ready for winter driving. And that means you better stop into any one of the 7 Magic Valley Les Schwab tire centers, because they can serve you with absolutely the best in tires, all the different tread designs. that are going to get you where you're going and back home safely. So, and don't forget, too, they got all the tire chains and the very best in brake service and front-end alignments and shocks and struts and batteries. Woo, don't discount those batteries, man. Get you started and get you going. Hey, don't forget, stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Overland in Burley. Yep, get ready for the winter driving at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and they wish you and yours a very happy Thanksgiving. We are going to have Dave Bego on the phone next hour, Indianapolis, Indiana. Dave has been kind of a mainstay of our program for the last year or so on that time slot. Then at 9:30, we're going to talk to Lee's Furniture. Jeff is over there. And at 9:36, we have the Speaker of the House, Scott Bedke, coming on. And Scott just returned from a Middle Eastern trip on a trade mission. And I just to really hear about all that he learned. He said he learned how to eat with chopsticks and everything. And then at 10:06, we got Rick Narabout with the Idaho Dairymen's Association, and then Julio Rivera. We've got a full plate for the rest of the morning. Thank you for all your calls, and may I take a little time right now this hour to say that on behalf of my lovely bride of 46 years, Deanne, and I, we wish you and your family a very happy Thanksgiving with your families all gathered together tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving from Zeb at the Ranch. Right now, we're going to turn it over to CBS News. We'll be back in about 7 minutes. Oh, good morning on the day before Thanksgiving. And a lot of us are just kind of thinking about all that delicious turkey and the dressings. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. And the pecan pie with the whipped cream. Woo, baby. Hey, don't forget, Zeb at the Ranch, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Don't forget, get ready for winter driving at any one of the 7 locations. And, of course, some of our great advertisers, including Western Way Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Way Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Way Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Way Services.
And Western Way Services, of course, always at your disposal. I urge you to get a hold of them today at 734-6969. Now, here's the deal. A lot of us, myself included, are trying to do a lot of cleaning to get ready for not only tomorrow, Thanksgiving, but through the Christmas holidays. People coming over. I know we're going to have a lot of folks here. I need a big old dumpster right out the back window and start pitching and throwing. And maybe you need a dumpster, too. Well, call them up. They'll deliver a dumpster. They've got them in various sizes, and then they'll come and get it once it's filled. It's easy. Call them today, Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Call them at 734-6969. Oh, and by the way, like we've been telling you all morning long, Black Friday coming up, the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and the big Black Friday sale of Serta mattresses at Redder Showcase. What am I talking about? Thought you'd never ask. They have all of their Sertas marked down for a huge one-day event. Twin mattresses starting at just $99, and they've got queen sets starting at just $299. You better get on in there. Up to 18 months, same as cash on approved credit. Redder Showcase, 2611 Overland Avenue in Burley for the big Black Friday sale on Serta mattresses. Don't you miss it. Also, every morning I am so blessed to have the opportunity to talk about some really, really good friends of mine, and that's Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. Good morning, Joel Heward, family and staff serving you and your family. That's right, with very flexible hours, not just 9 to 5. They are there when you need them, always with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. I urge you to call and find out a lot of the information we should all have on the pre-planning for funerals. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Number to call, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary, serving you. Right now, we're going to go to the phone line, and this man, first of all, I'm going to wish him a very happy Thanksgiving. He's a dear, dear friend, and that's Dave Vigo back in Indianapolis, Indiana. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Zeb. How you doing?
Well, we got a lot of things to talk about this morning, but first and foremost, who is the Thanksgiving cook in your family, your wife or you?
Well, it sure as heck wouldn't be me, because everybody'd be gagging.
Now, when you sit,
my wife is a good cook.
When you sit down to the Thanksgiving dinner, how many people usually do you celebrate with on Thanksgiving?
Well, first of all, Zeb, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving Day. I don't know if I ever told you this, but my mom passed away on Thanksgiving Day. It'd be 27 years ago. Thanksgiving Day. And she was 59 years old at the time, and she was a smoker, unfortunately. And Thanksgiving Day, she passed away from that. And so on Thanksgiving, it's kind of a quiet day for us. And I go to the cemetery and lay a wreath on her grave, and that. So on Friday, we'll have all the kids and grandkids over. So there'll be about 20 of us there.
All right, and a great big, like a 50-pound turkey.
Actually, we have a fairly small turkey. Our kids, my wife makes this great pasta dish that they love, and so she's going to be making this pasta dish with a couple different types. I think turkey's going to be in some of it, and another one is going to be something else. But that's kind of what it is.
What time did you say we were supposed to be there? I missed the time.
You want mountain time or you want eastern time?
I want hurry-up time. I'm hungry.
Yeah, she's a good chef, and the kids all love it. They're looking forward to it. Plus, she'll have 3 or 4 different pies that she makes that are very good, and so it'll be interesting, and we'll have a little wine during the day, too.
Oh, no, I'm going to be there. I'll get the next flight right after the program. Listen, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this, and I'm calling it a mess, which I think is being drummed up and made worse by the liberal Democrats. But what are your thoughts about LeVar Ball and his kid arrested for shoplifting, and then LeVar Ball comes out and says something so stupid like shoplifting, that ain't no big deal, and then Donald Trump basically saving these 3 UCLA ball players' lives, or they could have spent over 10 years in prison in China. What about this whole mess? Give me your thoughts.
Well, as far as the Democratic side, I think things are starting to open up that who they really are, especially with all the sex scandals going on out there. And if you notice, we keep seeing these things, and you start putting the list together. The list on the Democratic side is much, much larger than anything you see on the Republican side, this poor sexual behavior and that. And, and to me, Zeb, this is typical of, and not all Democrats, because I have a lot of friends that are Democrats, but I'm talking about the far left, these people that ultimately think they can control everybody and they can do whatever they please, and it doesn't matter whether it comes to unions controlling business or Hollywood controlling actresses and our bosses controlling their the women that work for them and making them do what they want them to do, and it's a control mentality instead of a mentality where we're going to work together with people and make things happen that are positive and good for everybody.
I totally agree with that. But now going back to the LeVar Ball and his company, he's got a company called Big Ballers, and he's got one son that's in the NBA playing for the Lakers, and he's made some awfully brash and stupid comments like, well, my kid could take on Michael Jordan right now one-on-one and whip him. I mean, this father is causing more harm than he's causing any good, and you never hear about the mother.
Yeah. Well, again, it's typical of their mentality. I've faced people like this, you know, not just with the unions, but in business and in other areas, you know, during my lifetime. And you have to understand who these people are. And it's unfortunate they're like that. And, you know, even, I don't know if I ever told you this story, Zeb, but even I learned this early on in high school, that these people are bullies. And when I was a junior in high school, you know, I started on the varsity basketball team, and there was a big guy. He played football. He was about 6'8", on the 270, and you know, he wasn't starting it. It really irritated him. One day in practice, I faked him, went around him, and he purposely stepped on my left foot and pulled all the tendons off my ankle.
Ooh. And
everything. And I was out for several weeks in a boot and all that. And I come back, and you know, you could just tell he was going to come after me again. And so we were playing a scrimmage game, and I was guarding him, and I stole the ball from him. I was going down for an easy layup, but I could hear him plodding behind me. I knew he was going to hit me again. And so just as I got to the backboard, I threw the ball up on the board, stepped back, stuck my foot out, and he went screeching across the floor on his knees and got up, and they were bleeding. And I just looked at him and said, "Don't mess with me."
Attaboy.
And unfortunately, these type people, that's how you have to handle them. And it's sad that they have to be that way.
Well, drew the correlation there from the LeVar Ball with the absolutely big jerk mouth that he has, and then the left trying to make Trump the villain on this. As a matter of fact, Dave, yesterday in the USA Today, absolutely destitute of any common sense writer for USA Today, Martin Rogers, had the headline in the paper that says, "When will Trump stick to politics?" And the subheadline was, "President keeps attacking the NFL." Why are they always after Trump when he did not initiate the problem either with the NFL and their kneeling during the anthem, or the problem with the LeVar Ball's family when all he did is try to get those kids out of prison?
Well, it's real simple, because behind the scenes they're being controlled by the left and the unions and people like that, and what they say and that. And if they don't come out on the right side where the unions and the left, you know, want them, they're going to be attacked, and they know that. So they just they're going to go after Trump. And as I've told you before in this program and on my blog that we talked about last week, the ultimate goal is to bring Trump and this country down.
Mm-hmm. If you were to look at this thing on a 1 to 10 scale, with the left being on the antagonistic attitude of trying to go after the president, trying to get him thrown out of office, the Maxine Waters type approach, etc., how concerned are you on a 1 to 10 scale that the left is gaining more traction every day?
Actually, you know, I'm not as concerned. I mean, I think it's a possibility, you know, and, you know, I think it's more in our favor today, 6 to 7, but we got to get back up to that 9 to 10 range. And you know, I think one of the things, you know, remember in my blog we talked about Antifa, and they were going to have these big riots and that across the country on November 4th, and what happened was there was very little of it, and very few people showed up. And I think as some indication that people are starting to wake up to what's going on in this country. And as I talk to more and more people, you know, I'm hearing that, and I even had a conversation here in my office yesterday with a guy that, you know, we have security cameras and that on the building, and he was working on stuff, and he was a younger guy, and you know, we got to talk about things a little bit, and he brought it up. He says it's crazy what's going on in this country and what these people on the left are trying to do. He says that America needs to wake up, and that's a positive thing that people are starting to hear. Speak out about this stuff.
Absolutely. Let me ask you a little bit about Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, the foundation, the absolute dynasty that they've had politically for years and years. Don't you get the same impression that I do, that little by little there's a lot of cracks in the masonry and the bricks are starting to fall apart, and this Uranium One deal might be the main hammer to the cornerstone? What are your thoughts?
No, I'm with you on that. I think it is. And again, I think people are waking up and they're beginning to realize that people like Hillary and Bill Clinton, they throw their lies and misinformation out there, and you know, they say, "Oh, we're all for you," and they sugarcoat everything, and I think the sugarcoating's wearing off, and people are waking up, and I think the foundation's going to implode.
You know, Hillary Clinton has made an attempt, and she's been very successful because of the liberal media. Every single day, there is a news clip of Hillary saying or doing or antagonizing or griping or complaining about not being the president. How in the world does this woman stay in the press? I absolutely can't understand why she just doesn't go home, be a grandma, get in a rocking chair, take the Geritol, and let the world go alone.
Because she is typical of the left. She thinks she knows better than everybody else, and she thinks she ought to be in control, and this is what she's going to do. And she doesn't understand what the free market capitalistic society is really all about, and what really growing a business and a family and all that is all about. And she's bound and determined she's going to get her way. And the left, again, they control the media, so they're going to support her.
Yeah. You know, I got to ask you, when I heard this story the other day, I was outraged, and my money, your money, is going into a kind of a hush fund for some of our senators and congressmen, $17 million in a hush fund for congressmen and senators to shut up their mistresses and to cover up all their misdeeds. Are you as upset about this garbage as I am?
Well, absolutely. People ought to be held responsible, and and the truth is when people make mistakes, they ought to fess up and come out and take whatever responsibility and whatever penalties and move on. And but too many people in this world, in this country, want to cover up everything and not do the right thing.
Well, covering it up is one thing, but to use your tax dollars and my tax dollars in a fund that we didn't even know about, and like in the case of John Conyers from Michigan, he was using that hush money to quietly silence two women, and at the same time his wife was serving time in prison for taking bribes. Is there anything good about D.C. that we can talk about?
I don't think so. I mean, unfortunately, and I've said this many times, even when I speak, and that is that there's bad people or not so good people in every walk of life, and whether it's in business or politics or religion or whatever it may be, and it's unfortunate that we as Americans have to wake up to the fact and keep our antenna up and make sure that we are looking behind the scenes and know the true facts of what's going on.
Well, and that leads me, when you say good people and bad people, when you saw what happened with the IRS and Koskinen and then Lois Lerner and others, and now Lois Lerner is coming out and she's saying that she's going to demand, I love that word, demand. She's demanding that the transcripts of her testimony at those Senate hearings not be opened up for public scrutiny because she's afraid for her life. Wait a minute. If she wins this is public information. We have a right to know what was said against various individuals in this country, and Lois Lerner is afraid for her health and her life. She should have watched what she said and did in the first place.
Well, that's exactly right, and the American people have right to have access to it. And I'm hoping our government does the right thing, and this information is made public, and we move on.
I just wonder if that's going to happen. And then let's see, what else did I have in the news for you this morning? Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you about this absolute destitute idea of not building the wall and just basically having the porous borders remain like they are. After what we saw happen on the border this past week with that the Border Patrol agent being killed, another one beaten severely. What are your thoughts? Are we going to get the wall built the way it should be with this administration?
No, I don't think so. And the truth is that Zeb and I wrote a blog about this a couple of years ago. Even if you build a wall, they'll find ways to dig under it or other things. And I'm a firm believer in our military, and I would just like to see Trump and the government step up and just turn it over to our military and say, here, you guys do what you got to do to stop it. Not just our Border Patrol, because there isn't enough of them, obviously. And, the sad things happen like happened this past week. But you put our military in charge, they're not going to come over walls, and they're not going to dig tunnels under. The military will stop it, and they'll scare these people to high heaven. They won't be coming across. And it'd be a good training program for our military, too.
Absolutely. Dave Vigo, I've got a whole bunch of things I've got to get on as far as paying some of the bills, but I want to extend to you and your family a great weekend as we round the corner with Thanksgiving, headed into Christmas holiday season. You've been such a great friend of this program. Thank you so much, and we'll look forward to hopefully talking to you next week.
Well, I look forward to it. You and your family and all your listeners have a happy Thanksgiving, and I'll be thinking about you while we're munching on my wife's goodies on Friday.
And taking a sip of that wine.
There you go.
Okay. Thanks, Dave.
Take care now.
God bless. Thank you. Dave Vigo, Indianapolis, Indiana, a very, very good friend. Oh, we got to pay some bills right now. I want to talk to you about a problem that is in this area, and thanks to Dr. Bill and the folks over at Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn, I've been more cognizant of what's going on. Be very, very careful if you're out with your dogs near the Snake River. There is a blue-green algae growing right now in the Snake River, which can be very deadly to dogs and animals. Keep them away from the river. If you see your dogs have started vomiting or have diarrhea or any kind of thing like seizures or jaundice, I'm telling you, you better get them to Ark Animal Hospital right now before it's too late. It really happens to mostly hunting dogs, and they're saying stay away from the river with that blue-green algae. It's very deadly and dangerous. And I urge you to contact Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street in Heyburn. Number to call, 678-1177. They do have warm hearts for cold noses. Good to know. Thank you very much, Dr. Bill. And while we have just a minute, I also want to issue some happy Thanksgiving tributes from Golden Valley Warehouse at 468 West, 1000 South of Burley, 678-7324. And they tell all their customers, thank you for the business. And, of course, they always provide quality seed to quality people, Golden Valley Warehouse. Along with Streamline Precision, 120 South, 100 West of Burley. Streamline Precision does it all, from dairy parlors to free stalls, robotic barns, feed lanes, pens, calving facilities, all of this and more. Get a hold of them today, 678-9204, Streamline Precision. And my dear friend, and he is Joe Taylor, 425 Overland in Burley. Joe, one of the best doggone real estate agents ever in the state of Idaho. Buying or selling real estate, remember Joe Taylor, 678-9400. And last but not least, Clark's for Shopping at 100 East Main in Oakley. They've got that grandma's secret recipe for sausage, whether it's bulk patties or links. Absolutely phenomenal, delicious. And they wish you a happy Thanksgiving from Clark's for Shopping in Oakley. All of these folks wishing you a very happy Thanksgiving. Thank you much. In just a moment, we're going to get our dear friend on the line. Wheels is probably calling him right now, and that's our good buddy over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. Jeff is going to be on the phone with us. Have you got him ready to go, Wheels?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, good for you. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, and he's set the alarm clock. As a matter of fact, he's got 27 alarm clocks ready to get him out of bed on Black Friday, this Friday morning, because Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More is going to be open at 6 in the morning, and he's setting all those alarm clocks to go off at various stages. Good morning, Jeff Bronson.
Good morning, Zeb. I might need to have you give me a phone call that morning. I have a feeling I'm going to be pretty tired.
I believe I could do that, but now tell us about all that's going on with your Black Friday special.
Well, thank you for asking and giving me the opportunity. Yeah, so we open our doors Friday morning at 6 a.m., We will be open until 6 p.m. And what's so remarkable about this, Zeb, is we have everything in the store on sale, but particularly, as oftentimes people may be aware, we do carry Ashley brand furniture. All of our Ashley furniture is going to be half off on Friday.
Wow.
And as a special treat for anybody that comes in for those early morning hours before they run out and buy their other things, from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., we're also going to include free delivery with those purchases.
Wow. All of this starting at 6 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, so we're getting ready for it now, and so we just want to let everybody know it's a great opportunity. So that includes sofas, bedroom furniture, occasional tables, dining room sets, anything that is manufactured by Ashley brand furniture is going to be 50% off on Black Friday.
You know, Jeff, all the employees that you have there, like LeGrand or Morgan or Hillary or Emily or whomever, have you run a test to make sure that they can function that early in the morning?
Well, we're about to find out. I also suppose they're going to see if I can function that early in the morning.
Okay. Well, this sounds...
You know, we have a great staff, Zeb, and they're such hard workers, and they're so professional, and we'd love to invite anybody to come in and get acquainted with them. And in addition to these specials, I'd also like to remind Zeb, you and your audience, all of our floor covering right now is on sale. That includes carpet and hard surface, and also any of our other manufacturers right now are also 40% off. So these are great opportunities, great specials to get a head start on the Christmas holiday shopping season.
You know, Jeff, you guys and gals over there have done such a tremendous job, and I urge everybody to set the alarm. This is kind of a unique experience. You can get down there early in the morning, and you can see perhaps personalities from Jeff Bronson and others that you never knew they had. Stop over there at Lee's Furniture, Floors and More this Friday morning. Jeff, tell us all about where you're located and the hours.
We're located at 459 Overland Avenue, the first stoplight south of the bridge, and we will be here again from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you have any questions, feel free to call us. Our number is 208-878-2341, and we'd love to see you here.
It's going to be a lot of fun. You got to tell me, you got to give me a complete report of how everything went, okay?
Well, if we see you at 6 a.m., I'll tell you then.
All right, buddy. You take care of yourself. And by the way, happy Thanksgiving.
And thank you, Zeb, and happy Thanksgiving to you and all of your audience.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you, Jeff. Good old boy right there, Jeff Bronson, over to Lee's Furniture, Floors and More. They're going to be opening up at 6 o'clock in the morning on Friday. I'll tell you. Hey, give me a call, 436-2244. In just a moment, we're going to have Speaker of the House, Scott Bedke, on our program. I want to remind you, Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and more. They really care. They're really diligent in their service, and they take care of you. Call them. Make an appointment. 436-4424. That number again, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. They are great. Hey, by the way, let's ride 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World, and they're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. You know, we're going to have some warm weather the next couple of days, but that's just kind of a false little smoke screen, because you know as well as I do, the cold weather's coming, and there's going to be more angel dandruff on the ground. Well, they've got all the new 2018 snowmobiles over there at Let's Ride. Oh, yeah. And all the accessories. They've got all the four-wheelers. They got all the side-by-sides. I'm telling you, this is a great place to do your Christmas shopping. Yep. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. You stop over there, great accessory department, the best doggone service department around at Let's Ride, where the fun is sold. Really good folks. Right now, we welcome back to our microphone, and also back here to the United States. He was on a trade mission, and we say good morning to a dear friend of ours, Speaker of the House, Scott Bedke. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you this morning?
I am really doing great. Now, I know that my wife tried to call you about maybe 2 weeks ago and found out that you were overseas. Tell us all about your mission on behalf of the state of Idaho.
I was privileged to lead the trade mission to Asia this year, and so a couple of things. So there were approximately 20 companies and associations around the state, and so I felt like that we're going to participate in the trade mission. So I felt that if I were going to do my part on this trade mission, that I needed to go and visit each one of these companies. And I made it to nearly all of them, and I was very impressed with these companies. Yeah, there's Micron goes, and the Potato Council goes, and the Wheat Commission goes. But for the most part, these were small businessmen, small family-owned businesses that had, that export their product overseas, including to Asia. And it was really good to get to know these people that participated on the trade mission before we left. And then we on November 10th we went to Taiwan and then on to Vietnam. And for a kid from Oakley, Idaho, that was quite an eye opener. I'd been to Taiwan before on a legislative exchange, but I hadn't been in the capacity of leading a trade delegation and meeting with the companies and the government officials. And that was really a great experience. I was proud of our state and proud of the companies, selling these are high quality, world class products, whether we're talking about beef or the grains or down to specialized electronic products. Anyway, it was a very interesting trip, and so particularly Vietnam. I think I share many of the stereotypes that a lot of us do, and what I found was certainly a foreign country, foreign to the way what we're used to. But this is a very vibrant company, and a very country. Excuse me. And I was talking to one of our guides there as an example, and I said, because I was surprised how warmly we were greeted, and I thought that there'd be, lingering animosity over the war, and certainly I don't mean to gloss this over, and I suspect if you look, you can find it. But it was interesting. He said as an aside, well, we have 1,000 years of history of conflict with China, and we only have 20 years of history with you. So, and the polls over there show that the favorables, the very favorables for United States of America are over 75%. And so I was not necessarily expecting to run into that, but what we ran into, great hospitality, and we were very warmly received. And anyway, that was kind of an eye opener to me.
Let me ask you this, Scott, and I have never been on one of these trade missions, nor ever been affiliated with one, but had you ever done anything like this? And when you arrived at, let's say, in Vietnam or Taiwan, I bet you your days were all mapped out to the point where maybe later in the afternoon you were going, holy smokes, I don't know if I can make it through the evening or not. I bet it's very tiring and very taking over everything you do while you're over there.
Well, that's certainly true. And then you put the 14, 15 hours difference in time on top of that. And, so it was challenging, I think, from that perspective. But it was interesting, just a little about a trade mission. The companies from Idaho talk and petition the Department of Commerce and the Department of Agriculture and say, we are doing a lot of business in Mexico or Canada or Peru or South America or Asia, Taiwan or Vietnam or China, and these companies pay the state of Idaho a participation fee to cover all of their own expenses, and in return, typically it's the governor that leads the trade mission, and the entree that having a high-ranking state official gives these businesses is more than worth what they pay for, to go on the on the trade mission. This is not a political junket where everyone's expenses are paid by the taxpayer. That's absolutely false. This is, in fact, we paid most of our way as well, and so it was interesting. We went there. Again, you had 20 companies that wanted to go all their separate ways and have their separate meetings. And so from morning until night, it was carefully scheduled. So I would go with one company one Idaho company to a Taiwanese company or a Vietnamese company, and just do that all day long. And then in the evenings, the state of Idaho hosted a reception. And these were very well attended from the business community in the area, not just of our customers, but our potential customers. And we would have literally 200 or 300 people there each night. Now, of course, I think that speaks to the quality of the prime rib that we were serving and the Idaho products that we were serving. But still in all, every night I would literally come home with a stack 2 inches high of business cards that I would exchange at these receptions.
Wow!
And I'm just looking here. I'm sitting at my desk, and I've got these stacks that they're bound in rubber bands. But this was, everyone there, and of course it's a little different custom there. But we would meet them at the door and exchange pleasantries. They would be introduced, and we would exchange business cards. And so I literally got stacks each night. And these receptions were very well received and very well attended. It's a little challenging speaking through an interpreter, but still in all, a lot of these heads of business over there do speak some English, and so we were able to get by. It was just a great experience.
Let me ask you this, Scott. Being that you are, of course, a cattleman, a rancher, and very well versed about the beef industry here in this state of Idaho, and then I would imagine they probably had a lot of questions about beef, and they probably asked many questions about dairy products, and of course the Idaho potato. What did you least expect? I mean, what did you learn that you had preconceived ideas about that maybe you weren't ready for some of the questions they asked?
Well, it was interesting. For example, we went to a luncheon that had been prepared for us, and these people, of course, had all of these stereotypes about us, and so they were concerned that we would not like their local food, and so there was a big plate of French fries and beef there, what they call barbecue beef and green salad, and to the side of this very elegant meal that they had prepared, and because they were concerned that we wouldn't like the local fare, and so they have their stereotypes about us as we do with them, and as it turns out, we were both wrong. It's interesting you bring up the beef industry. They love American beef over there, and the American products are viewed as the safest and highest quality products that they can get a hold of. I mean, we do a lot of exports of dairy heifers there and of genetics, as well as we ship alfalfa hay, compacted bales of alfalfa hay from places like American Falls, Idaho, over there, that they feed these top heifers that they buy, and they love they use a lot of our powdered milk and our powdered milk products, and it's really interesting. I was reading some statistics preparatory to this tour. And of the agriculture in Idaho ships about $2 billion of our grains, meats, dairies, seeds, all of our produce that we raise here in Idaho. $2 billion of that is exported to someplace out of the United States. They figure for the value of every beef that is sold, So let's say that a fat beet brings about $1,900 or however much it brings. They figure that you can directly attribute $325 of that value to our exports.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not everything goes to Asia, of course, and a lot goes to all of our other trading partners around the world. But Asia is a fast-growing market. The amount of trade that we did with Vietnam has risen each year for the last several years by 50%, and is expected to continue to do that. And so they want our products. In this era where the administration is saying that we got to renegotiate NAFTA and the TPP, those types of things, it's interesting that the ag sector of NAFTA, we run surpluses in the ag sector, not necessarily the manufacturing sector, but we ship out way more ag products than we bring in. Now, of course, the overall value shows a trade deficit with many of these countries, but agriculture is doing its part. There's a surplus in the accounts in the agricultural sector. So it's important where we have a agricultural, ag is still number one in Idaho, and it's important that we keep these markets that we have. Another interesting point here in Taiwan, wheat, the per capita consumption of wheat is higher than the per capita consumption of rice, and that's because of our aggressive promotion and whatnot. And Taiwan is our number 3 trading partner after Canada and Mexico.
Wow!
So in all the world, Taiwan's is our next biggest market. And that's something that we've cultivated over the last 30 years. We've had a presence in Taiwan for the last 30 years, and then from Taiwan we branched out into the other parts of Asia. So anyway, it was a completely interesting trip. It was as like I was telling someone the other night, is that every place you look, there was something to stare at. I mean, it's something completely new and unique, and things that you don't see. Certainly in Idaho or in the United States.
Scott, let me ask you this question. Politics aside, throwing politics completely out of the equation or conversation, they're really not that much different than we are they?
After you get past the language barriers, these people are concerned about their security of their family, and they want things. They want a better life for their kids than the one that they had, and they're proud of their heritage. They're not necessarily always proud of their government, but they are proud of their heritage, and they are concerned, like we are, about making a better life for their kids, and they're gung ho for education and taking full advantage of every educational opportunity. They take school very seriously over there. Those kids head to school at 8 o'clock in the morning and don't come back until 5 o'clock at night. And just the whole mindset with regard to education is somewhat different than we do. We take it more for granted, and they know that it's the stepping stone that will allow them to have a better life, and they go full bore. And it doesn't matter whether you're in Taiwan or in Vietnam. Mm-hmm. Vietnam is an emerging economy, for example. I mean, the streets are. We were in Saigon, or Ho Chi Minh City, as it's called now, and in Hanoi, and every bit of commerce there looks to me like moves on the back of a scooter. There are literally thousands of scooters on the road.
Wow.
Not so many cars, and certainly not so many buses. We were kind of in a not necessarily a short bus, but kind of a coach going from place to place. But the traffic was elbow to elbow, fender to fender, all with scooters, and there was. It didn't matter whether there, but there was interesting that there were Uber, taxi scooters, if you will. to call a scooter to get a ride or deliver all of your produce. And it was a pretty polite, with that much traffic, you would, over here, there'd be angry drivers and vulgar gestures and whatnot. There, it seemed relatively stress-free, yet the streets were packed with these scooters, everybody going someplace to deliver something. It was not unusual to see a family on a scooter, a father, mother, 2 kids,
wow,
and in some cases the dog and a basket of groceries.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, it was something, Deb.
One last question, and I've only got about 3 minutes left, Scott, but do they over there understand the trials and tribulations that agriculture is suffering here in the United States with the environmentalists, et cetera?
I don't think that they do at the level we do. They view the United States as nearly a paradise on earth. And so, when there was no room for us to complain to them about our situation. Because they can match issue to issue. Now their hands are tied to some degree on their farming situations, particularly their dairy situations, by these United Nations treaty, and that I didn't stand in judgment of that, but to myself I thought I'd be. It kind of went against my grain to have given that type of sovereignty to a United Nations or a UNESCO treaty. But that's things. The per capita income in Vietnam is $2,000 US per year.
Wow. And
in the Saigon area, it's 5,000. And so if the average is 2,000, then that tells you some of the living conditions and the economic conditions that exist in the rest of the country.
Right.
Now in Taiwan, it's 4 or 5 times that amount, maybe more. Taiwan is a very vibrant city, very vibrant country. Of course, they have their issues with mainland China, but they are when compared to Vietnam, they're decades ahead. But Vietnam is committed to becoming the next Taiwan or the next Korea. I mean, that is what they openly say that. And so the communist politics take kind of a second seat to this economic prosperity because the people have had a taste of that, and that is driving their politics.
I see.
Now there's a whole bunch of people there, and there's 93 million people in Vietnam, and they do things differently than we do.
Absolutely.
But there was not a lot of sympathy for our environmental issues here when you talk to them. In fact, it was even seemed untoward to bring it up.
Absolutely. I want to talk more. I'm going to have you back on in future broadcasts. We'll discuss this further. But Speaker of the House, Scott Bedke, God bless you. Glad to have you home. Thank you for giving us a thumbnail sketch of your trade mission. We really appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
The same to you and Diane and Deanne, and we'll definitely do this again because there's a whole bunch of things we need to talk about the upcoming session.
All right. Thank you, Scott. God bless you. And shop carefully.
I will.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Deb. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Speaker of the House, Scott Bedke, on the program with us this morning, just back from Taiwan and Vietnam. And I thank him for taking the time to come on the show. Ooh, I'm running late. Got to get a weather forecast on here right now. And the weather sponsored by Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company, with offices in Burley and Rupert. Don't forget it's time to get your 1099s and W-2s out and the tax planning done before the end of the year. Get a hold of them today. They have been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years. The very, very best, Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Payroll services, retirement planning, tax return preparation, and so much more. And right now, they bring you the weather.
Well, things are going to be unseasonably beautiful for the holiday season. For your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast, Scotty Cameron sitting in for Gina Jameson. Today, going to be beautiful, partly sunny skies, expecting a high around 60. Mostly clear for tonight. Then for Turkey Day, mostly sunny and a high of 62. Now for Thursday night, it looks like a 20% chance of rain, lows around 41. Then for Friday, mostly sunny, a high of 55. Friday night, partly cloudy and a low of 36. Then on Saturday, partly sunny, a high of 58. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, and that's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Scotty, and don't forget Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. The very best of accounting services serving you in Burley and Rupert. By the by, I also want to remind you, too, about Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center at 924 Christian Way in Rupert. Number to call, number to remember, 436-3200. Yes, they have personalized help for each and every person, providing more one-on-one care. And they urge you as family members to come by, take a tour, find out more about Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert. Number to call and find out more information, 436-3200. They're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. You know, real quick, we're going to do kind of an abbreviated starving to death here this morning because we're not going to be on the air tomorrow. And I'd like to remind you, if you're out shopping on Black Friday, here's some great places to go eat. The AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. Don't forget all the pumpkin shakes and the eggnog shakes and the mint chocolate shakes and the great famous Farmer Brown burgers. All of this and more at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Let's not forget Taco Bandito at 2301 Overland in Burley. Pumpkin empanadas. Woo! They are good, let me tell you. Along with the Taco Bandito now has bacon with jalapeno in it. Whoa, that is delicious. Along with the breakfast burritos and the new pork burritos, check it out at Taco Bandito in Burley. Burgers Etc. has two locations to serve you, Rupert and Burley, 124 South Oneida in Rupert, 700 Overland in Burley. Don't forget, too, they've got soups every day, a different flavor. It's absolutely phenomenal. And on Sunday at the Burley location, shrimp dinner only $5.99. Great people serving you great food all the time at Burgers Etc. in Rupert and Burley. Let's not forget Steve-O's over at 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Food made the way you love it. Oh my goodness, the chaos salad, chicken breast with bacon, pickles, jalapeno peppers, lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, all of it delicious. And a different soup every day, and buffalo burgers. Friendly people serving you at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. And last but not least, let's not forget Doc's Pizza, bit my tongue. Doc's Pizza, great people at 514 6th Street in Rupert. And book now the upstairs for your Christmas party. Oh my goodness, it's really private, affordable space for all your party needs. And they've got homemade chili on Wednesdays, and they've got all the delicious pizzas, and they've got great salads. It's all there for you. And barbecue chicken, or add your favorite pineapple and bacon with a little hot cheese, is really, really great at Doc's Pizza in Rupert. Wow, I made it. Now, here we go. We're going to head for CBS News and then come back with more Zeb at the Ranch in about 7 minutes. Oh, good morning, rock and roll. Hour number 3, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, all of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, telling you to get ready for wintertime driving. And along with that, we also say thank you to some of our great advertisers. Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Call them, get on the route service today, 734-6969. We're going to have our guest with us in just a moment for this segment, but first and foremost, I want to remind you, Black Friday sale at Redder's Showcase. Oh my, a huge Serta Mattress Black Friday sale. Listen to this. They're going to have all of their Serta mattresses marked down for this huge, I mean big, one-day event. Twin mattresses starting at just $99. Queen sets starting at $299. Super pillow top for $599. All of this up to 18 months, same as cash on approved credit. You'd better run. Don't walk, run down to Redder's Showcase on Black Friday for the big Serta mattress sale, 2611 Overland Avenue in Burley. Remember, Redder's Showcase in Burley. Right now, I'm very honored to have the new executive director, I'll say, for the Idaho Dairymen's Association and the chief executive officer, Rick Narabot. Good morning, Rick. How are you?
Morning, Zeb. We're doing well. How about yourself?
Well, if I was any better, the wrong fat man would be wearing my clothes. But now that we've got all the amenities out of the way, congratulations on being named the Chief Executive Officer of the Idaho Dairymen's Association, following in your father's footsteps. What kind of a job is it following Dad into the same desk that he used to sit at?
Well, figuratively and literally, I have some pretty big shoes to fill. Bob has done an excellent job over the last 15 years leading the industry and really set the bar pretty high in being the face of Idaho's dairy industry. So look forward to the opportunity, but do understand the overall expectations, and I do have some pretty high expectations for me.
Well, Rick, tell us a little bit about, as executive director, what's a day in the life of Rick Narabot? What's it all about? I mean, what do you do? What do you expect to have happen? What's on your plate on a per-day basis?
Any given day, I mean, big picture, we're the advocate and protector of Idaho's dairy industry, and that can be doing anything from working with an agency that is regulating the industry and working through issues with them, to working with dairy producers on our new worker training and safety program that we're delivering to dairy workers, and helping them be better employees, and helping our dairymen really invest in their workforce and help empower them to do their job more efficiently, better, and in a safer environment.
Rick, would you say that it's fairly safe to say that the dairy industry has just absolutely come onto the scene here in the state of Idaho in about the last 30 to 35 years, and just absolutely has blown the doors off in turning Idaho into one of the top producing dairy states in the United States? Did you expect, did your dad expect, did a lot of people expect this would happen this fast?
No, I honestly don't think anybody thought over the last 20 plus years we would have seen the absolute growth of the industry that we've experienced. Even if you go back to 2000, our industry has more than doubled since the year 2000. So that's looking at the last 17 years. And I mean, we weren't exactly a small industry come 2000. So the growth rate and the economic value that's brought to this state, I think it's surprised everybody. And really, it's being embraced today more than when we arrived on the scene in 2002, to where our local communities are definitely seeing the overall benefit and the stability that the dairy industry has brought to the regional economy.
Now, you're originally from Michigan, and I'm originally from Wisconsin, and just a little jab, I thought I might mention that Wisconsin just beat Michigan a week ago. But what about... I had to throw that in.
You have to understand, Michigan State's the land-grant university in Michigan, so we don't really follow the maize and blue. We follow the green and white here in the IDA office.
Okay. I just had to throw a jab in. And by the way, Wisconsin's undefeated.
At least you're from Wisconsin and you're not an Ohio State fan.
There you go. Never be one of those. But when you look at the dairy industry back in the Midwest, Wisconsin, of course, America's dairy land, and Michigan and the Midwest, and then compare it to out here in the West with California, always great growth, and now Idaho being one of the top producers. Wow. I mean, that's really good to try to supplant some of the Midwestern states as far as the growth factor.
Yeah, I mean, we've been a rapidly growing state, and we've got an average herd size of right around 1,400 cows per dairy. But one thing I've noticed, I grew up on a dairy facility in Michigan, and we were a small, 65 to 80 cow dairy, so definitely small by Idaho standards. But one thing that's rang true for me is the dairymen I grew up looking up to and having exposure to in Michigan really are just like the dairymen here in Idaho. You can go to your local coffee shop and catch up with these guys, and they're the same type individuals. They have the same values as those Midwest dairymen. They just, over time, have milked more cows.
Yeah.
But the overall values of the industry, really, I've noticed, are the same from the Midwest to here. And honestly, I can't think of a better group of people to work for, just because their values and their integrity are so good and so impressive.
Let me ask you, Rick, with every industry, I don't care what it is, could be the steel industry, it could be the coal industry, it can be anything. They always have problems with growth, and they always have problems with environmentalists. What are some of the key problems that the dairy industry is trying to overcome here in the state of Idaho?
Yeah, no, it's a fair question. I think we look at, and our focus here in the IDA office has been really on two fronts the last couple of years. One has been environmental, and looking at the potential environmental impact of our dairy facilities. And we've brought in 2 staff people over the last 2 years that work for the association and are available to dairy producers to come beside them and help them look at, whether it's their nutrient management plan or if they're looking at their manure system design, and help them understand what they might be able to do better and improve on that. And so we've provided that resource to dairy producers. And then also recently this summer we brought in a new position within the association that focuses just on worker training and safety. And that was a recognition of that we've got a lot of really good training that happens on our dairy facilities, but it's really informal in that you've got the existing workforce helping train and help the new hires understand what the responsibilities and the key attributes of the job that they're filling are. And really that, even though there's great training that goes on there and there's on-the-job training, we needed a more formal system that was able to give customers the assurances that, we do take worker training and safety serious and have a more formal structure to that and be able to provide them that assurance. And so that was the main focus of bringing that additional position within the association in the last few months here. And really it's been well received by everybody, from the dairy employee all the way to the retailers that have had exposure to it and understand what we're doing.
Rick, has the industry in the state of Idaho, depending upon land and availability of land and whether or not it meets the needs, has it kind of peaked? Is it at its greatest growth right now, or is there still room for more growth here in the state of Idaho?
I definitely think there's room for more growth within the state of Idaho. From a natural resource perspective, I would estimate as you look eastern Magic Valley and into eastern Idaho, there's probably the resources to support another 100,000 cows. But right now, really, we need additional processing capacity. We're at a point in time within our industry that our milk supply is greater than our ability to process milk within the state, and so we're seeing some organizations incur significant expense to push milk out of the state to find a home to process it. And so one of the other focuses we have is trying to identify, is there an opportunity for an existing processor and business to expand here in Idaho? And if not, is there another business that would have an interest in investing in Idaho and building a processing facility so that we can continue to experience that growth as an industry and have that be profitable growth for both our processors and our producers.
Milk and all the dairy products, ice cream, cheese, etc., has always been accepted as the best, most wholesome product. Are you seeing any transitions with various groups that are against agriculture trying to denigrate the dairy industry? And how are you overcoming that with your advertisements and your public service announcements?
So really, a lot of those efforts to capitalize on the wholesomeness of milk and the recognition that it is one of few food items that have so many essential vitamins and nutrients, we often see, other beverages try and capitalize on the reputation of milk and try and have themselves placed in the same high level of nutrition value as what milk has. And so often those other beverages are trying to take advantage of that more than groups outside the industry. But we do have within Dairy West and United Dairymen of Idaho, we have a great partnership with our promotion organizations that do help get that positive messaging out there to help consumers understand that milk really is the only food item that can deliver the impact and the nutrition value as compared to those other beverages and other items that try to be billed at that same level but just don't cut it when it comes to the nutritional value. And so Dairy West and United Dairymen of Idaho do a great job in, through traditional media, but then also through social media, trying to reach consumers and help them understand all those positive attributes that milk brings to your table.
Rick, one of the problems, and I'm very blunt on my program and very straightforward, has been the working labor force for the dairy industry. And there's been a lot of contention and there's been a lot of discussion about some of the labor force being illegal aliens coming into this country. What are you going to do as an industry to keep the product on the move and growing when it's hard to find the labor? I mean, explain a little bit as how you're addressing this problem.
Sure. So there's no secrets within our industry. The vast majority of our workforce is going to be foreign-born, and immigration reform is one of those issues that we are trying to tackle head-on, and we've been working closely with different organizations that helped draft a bill that came out of the House Judiciary Committee about a month ago. Chairman Goodlott of that committee was the author of the bill, and that bill, it's called Ag Workers. It has come out of House Judiciary Committee and is now available for the House if leadership chooses to. The House floor would be able to take that bill up and consider its passage. And so we've been working closely with groups like the Ag Workers Coalition and National Immigration Forum in D.C. to try and make sure that we can move this important issue forward because it's a big deal for dairy, but it's a big deal for agriculture across the U.S. If you look at Department of Labor stats, their estimates are that nearly half the agricultural workforce in the United States is undocumented. And so for your average listener, if the next time they're sitting at the table and they sit down for a meal, cut your plate in half and consider half that food would not be on your plate if we didn't have the workforce that we have within agriculture. And so as a country, this is an issue that we need a solution to. It's not just an Idaho dairy issue, but it's a U.S. agricultural issue that we need to have Congress solve for us.
Rick, would it be a re-implementation or a reconstruction or a reconfiguration of the H-2A or H-2B programs? But, really, we've got to keep the money here that's earned here as taxation money here in this United States, but yet provide the workers for the various jobs. I mean, is there a chance that we could renovate those programs that they cut the funding to?
A renovation of the H-2A program is exactly what this Ag Workers bill is it revamps the H-2A program. It puts the administration of it within USDA and not the Department of Labor, and so we have a federal agency that really understands our workforce needs administering it. And it takes that H-2A program, makes it less cumbersome and difficult for agricultural business owners to use, and provides that platform going forward for not just the seasonal workers, which H-2A only provides visas for seasonal workers today, but it expands the program to include year-round workers. That would include dairy and other agricultural businesses that need year-round workers. And so it does just what you're thinking, in that it makes that H-2A program better and provides an avenue for year-round employers like dairymen to utilize it.
You know, I just got off the phone a few moments ago with Speaker of the House Scott Bedke, pardon me, and his trip overseas on a trade mission to Taiwan and also Vietnam. What about the dairy industry? Are there new mouths out there, if you will, that are ready to start tipping over a glass of milk and enjoying ice cream and cheese? Are there new markets that you're trying to develop?
Absolutely. And that's the focus of U.S. Dairy Export Council, the Idaho State Department of Ag, and then also Dairy West in trying to help build inroads into world markets. Today, 15%, give or take, of our total dairy production in the United States is exported. And so it's a significant business within our industry and a significant portion of our demand. In Idaho, that number is going to be larger, and both in the U.S. and Idaho, our biggest trade partner and the biggest importer of U.S. dairy and Idaho dairy is going to be Mexico. And so as we look at the renegotiation of trade agreements and how those impact our industry, we're watching closely as the administration goes through the process of evaluating and renegotiating NAFTA. Just because Mexico is our biggest trade partner. But then if you do look at the trips that Speaker Bedke just took, along with the Department of Ag, and new or emerging markets like the Taiwan market and other Asian countries, they provide a significant opportunity for Idaho dairy to export your manufactured products like your milk proteins and your cheese products to those countries. But they often they consume dairy different than we do here in the United States, and so we need to make sure that what we're producing is what they consume. And one of those big opportunities in those Asian countries are going to be milk proteins that they can add to baby formulas and other products that they consume that might not be the same traditional dairy products we consume here in the States.
You know, Rick, on my program, I've said for a long time, many, many years, that with those that are naysayers about American agriculture saying, well, maybe we can import it from another country and we don't need our farmers and ranchers here, a country that can't feed itself is a country that sooner or later is going to be taken over by other countries and completely controlled. I'm a big advocate of American agriculture, and it sounds like there's nothing but good things on the horizon if politics will stay out of a lot of it.
We would agree. When you look at do we want to bring the labor to the United States and produce it for ourselves, or do we want to have our food produced outside the United States and then imported? We feel much more comfortable producing for ourselves and for other countries than we would importing food. And would agree it puts us at a disadvantage from a national security standpoint that if you're not producing what you need to feed your own population, you're at risk as a nation. From a food safety standpoint, the United States has the most rigorous food safety system in the world, and the best way to make sure that we're delivering good quality, safe, wholesome food to our population is for us to produce it here in the U.S. and not have that be imported from other countries.
Rick, I want to say thank you very much for taking the time to come on my program this morning, and I certainly hope it'll be one of many possible future broadcasts with you. Thank you to the Chief Executive Officer of the Idaho Dairymen's Association, Rick Narabot, and happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you, and thank you for the opportunity to come on your show, and happy to do so anytime you want us to come speak to an issue or just have a general interview like this one. We're happy to participate with.
Thank you very much, Rick. Have a great day. Thank you.
Hey, you too. Thanks, Zeb.
All righty. Rick Narabot, the new Chief Executive Officer of the Idaho Dairymen's Association. You know, over the years, I have had the opportunity, and I mean this as an opportunity, I've had the opportunity to do many, many, many promotions with the Idaho Dairymen's Association and hope to do many more in the future on this program. We got to pay some bills here real quick, and we've got some folks that want to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. Let me get my sheet over here and tell you all about Magic Valley Carpet, 613 D Street in Rupert. Number to call, 436-1722. Company's coming. You better make sure you got a brand new carpet. Make the house look really, really good for this holiday season. Give them a call, 436-1722. Magic Valley Carpet. Along with Butte Irrigation, 116 South, 600 West of Paul, and the other location at Red Cap Corner on Kimberly Road in Kimberly. They're your Zomatic dealer, and they will get you wet. They've got all your irrigation needs taken care of. All you have to do is get a hold of them, and they say congratulations to all the farmers for a great harvest, Butte Irrigation. And our thanks go out to Streamline Precision at 120 South, 100 West of Burley. Number to call, 678-9204. Streamline Precision with our old buddy Tim. They can do it all. Manufacturing, material handling, food-grade equipment, conveyors, everything. Call Tim at 431-7314 or the office at 678-9204. Streamline Precision. All of these folks are wishing you and yours a very happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. By the way, there is a man that is a very good friend of this program, and he is celebrating his birthday tomorrow on Thanksgiving, and we want to extend happy birthday to you, Gary Shoresman. Happy birthday tomorrow on Thanksgiving, and many, many more. Quick public service notes here before we send it back over to Wheels at our main studio. The Century 5 Cinema Movie Theater is going to have a Christmas movie special. It's going to be taking place on this Saturday, and it's going to start at 9 a.m. with the first showing, at 11 a.m. at the second showing, and the admission is only 2 cans of food. All the food goes to the Christmas Council, and concessions and employees' time donated to the Minnecasia Community Chest for the Coats for Kids. Don't miss this coming up this Saturday. Century Cinema 5 Movie Theater, and the admission is 2 cans of food with movies showing at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Very good project. And talking about Minnecasia and keeping everybody warm with blankets and outerwear, etc., the Minnecasia Association of Realtors is asking for donations of blankets and jackets, etc. All donations due on or before December 12th. Donations will be accepted at any real estate or affiliate offices in the Minnecasia area. For more information, call 878-9170. All right? Keep Minnecasia warm. We're going to send it back over to Old Wheels at our station right now, and we'll be back with our next guest in about 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb back.
Oh, thank you. We're on the home stretch and inching closer to that great big turkey and all the stuffing and the mashed potatoes and the salads and the biscuits and the pumpkin and pecan pie tomorrow on Thanksgiving. Right now, I'd also like to remind you about some really, really, really good friends of ours, and that's Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center at 924 Christian Way in Rupert. And the number to call, find out more information about possibility of your loved one living there with maybe a little bit more need for one-on-one care. 924 Christian Way in Rupert, the number to call, 436-3200. And they do have personalized help for each person, and they invite you to come by, take a tour, visit the facility, ask questions, and they've got somebody there 24/7 to help, and also someone to do the laundry, the cooking, the cleaning, everything. They love their residents, and they want you to come by and see the facility at Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert. They're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. Right now, let's get on the phone line and have, he's been on my program a couple of times before. He's the editorial director for the Reactionary Times and host of Reactionary Times TV, Julio Rivera. Good morning, sir.
Mr. Val, how are you today?
I'm ready for Thanksgiving, Julio. How about you?
I I am as well. I've been kind of trying to limit my eating because I want tomorrow to be just a gratuitous free-for-all. And I'm going to taste everything, and I'm probably going to have seconds, thirds, maybe even fourths.
You know, you ought to come on out here, man. You'd fit right into my plan of attack, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, definitely.
Julio, what's going on with Puerto Rico since they had that tragedy with the hurricane and all the promises to get everything reinstated, re-implemented? What's going on? Give us a thumbnail sketch as to what's happening in Puerto Rico.
Well, you know, I was just there for about 12 days. I returned on Friday. Basically, my assessment is this. My parents live in kind of what they refer to in Puerto Rico as an urbanization. It's actually an area where there's a lot of commerce, and it's actually one of the more settled, urbanized sort of areas in the island. They still don't have electricity. They actually just took these power poles right on my mother's block about a week and a half ago that were actually leaning over traffic, and at any moment, if they would have snapped and there were cars driving through, probably could have killed somebody. My mother still doesn't have electricity. They're floating these numbers around. About like 40% of the island has electricity. I don't believe it at all. The whitefish work, the work that Whitefish out of Montana was contracted to do, of course, the controversial $300 million contract for a company that had 2 employees the day before they signed it, wound up failing. When I was there the first week, which was the week of the 5th of this month, there was a report that came out that Puerto Rico went from about 40% electric to about only 18%. It was as a result of the whitefish work failing. The governor of Puerto Rico was in Congress last Tuesday, which I believe was the 14th, and he requested $95 billion in federal funding. He said he wanted $77 billion to wipe out Puerto Rico's debt and $17 billion to go to power restoration. PREPA, the Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority, which is notoriously corrupted. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. They had, in the past, they did business with Hugo Chavez's brutal socialist dictatorship in Venezuela, purchasing sludge oil, which they then turned around and sold to the citizens of Puerto Rico as high-grade oil, kicking back the profits to the local politicians that were enabling the scheme. They've reached out to the bond market and to banks, to loans, to the tune of about $10 billion almost, each time promising that they were going to go ahead and redo the power grid, they were going to bring solar energy, wind energy, and all these, ambitious projects to the island. None of them ever materialized. It's basically become a slush fund for PREPA officials and corrupt politicians in Puerto Rico. I say this, I think that the United States government does need to intervene because it's a humanitarian crisis like we have not seen in this generation and probably unprecedented in the history of America and American territories. Something bad. But I would not give 1 red cent to Puerto Rico without, extensive federal oversight. And, as a conservative, I'm the last person that's ever going to, suggest that Washington, D.C. go out there and oversee what's going on a local level. But the widespread corruption in Puerto Rico, I think, merits it.
Well, let me ask you this, Julio, and there's nobody that I can think of that could answer this better than you, but it seems like we're pouring money down the toilet over there. It's not going for the intent of what the money and the aid is for. The government officials seem to be very much in favor of grafting and lining their own pockets, and the poor people over there are not getting the power, the water, the food, etc. What's it going to take for us, the Trump administration, to say enough is enough, we're going to take it over, we're going to rebuild? It seems to me like maybe the government officials over there are using this terrible tragedy as a power play for the United States to adopt them into statehood. How wrong am I?
You know what? That's actually yes and no. Because I think that there's a lot of, officials there in Puerto Rico that would probably like the status quo to remain. What they would like is just, a big pouring of, United States taxpayer money into Puerto Rico so they can then continue this corrupting of the money. Ultimately, I think statehood wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea for the people of Puerto Rico. But at the same time, it would be pretty much, an eyesore financially. It would actually be a hit to the American taxpayer. I would say this, though. I think that, and there's a petition on White House, petitions.whitehouse.gov that I created, basically, and your listeners could go there and please sign the petition, requesting a congressional audit of PREPA activity. I mean, I think that would be one good step. Let's start auditing and figuring out exactly what PREPA's been doing over the last 10, 15 years. And then from there, if you find out that there's activity that wasn't legal, then you got to get Jeff Sessions and the Justice Department to go in there and prosecute the offenders.
Is Jeff Sessions, and you're very up on what's going on back in Washington, D.C., Julio, is Jeff Sessions the man for that job or not? Does he need to step down? Does he need to take on maybe the senatorial seat in Alabama? Does he need to be out of there? Or is he good enough, tough enough to be the AG?
You know what? The issue that I had with Jeff Sessions was him stating quite in plain language that he would recuse himself into any investigation into Hillary Clinton, in regards to the Russian collusion. Now, I've been hearing conflicting things that, they may launch a Justice Department investigation into, the collusion with Russia as far as on the uranium deal. So it depends. I mean, listen, I've been very disappointed with Jeff Sessions. I've done it publicly. I've said it on my show. I've said it on, the networks that I appear on, that, Jeff Sessions needs to be a lot tougher on the corruption, not just with Hillary Clinton, but with the last administration. I think it was a culture of lawlessness. We saw that with, Eric Holder and Fast and Furious. We saw it with Hillary Clinton and Susan Rice misleading the American people after Benghazi, the Tarmac Summit. There's just so many glaring examples of lawlessness within that administration that I'd like to see, basically a full and comprehensive investigation into what happened during the 8 years that Barack Obama was president.
Okay, now you touched on it, so I'm going to have you elaborate on it. I want to know your thoughts. I've already expounded on mine over this program over the last week and a half, 2 weeks about Uranium One. I think that what we're seeing and hearing, Julio, about Uranium One and the sale or giving of uranium assets to Russia and possibly other countries is just the tip of the iceberg. What are your thoughts?
I think it is. I mean, I think that when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, she ran the State Department as a pay-to-play scheme. If people that were donating and countries that were donating to the Clinton Foundation found themselves in the position of getting favorable deals diplomatically. There were arms sales on top, beyond this uranium, there were arms sales to countries like Qatar that are state sponsors of terror, which, if you look at the timeline, happened in concert with donations to the Clinton Foundation. And this goes all the way back to when Bill Clinton was actually president, when they had the pay-to-play scheme with the issuance of pardons at about $200,000 a pop back then. I mean, and even when the Clintons left the White House, I mean, stealing silverware and furniture. I mean, these people are just the most lawless creatures politically that America's ever encountered. And the fact that they've done it in the public eye and kind of, with the protection of the mainstream media who never really attacked them, other than, conservative radio, which is huge in this country, shows like yourself, and maybe a couple of smaller networks like, One America News and Newsmax, and obviously Fox News is the bigger one. Nobody else has really called them out. The rest of the mainstream media, CBS, NBC, ABC, CNN, Headline News, all these other outlets are very, I would say, protectionist in terms of how they deal with the Clintons.
Let me ask you, though, in regards to the Clinton Foundation, Bill and Hillary, the Podestas, and a lot of people that have supported a lot of clandestine activities with the Clintons over the many, many years. What are your final thoughts? Do you think we're going to see maybe some litigation against them and possibly even some jail time for certain individuals? How far do you think this investigation will go before somebody with big money says, that's enough, boys, go sit down?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that, the indictment of Paul Manafort may eventually open a door into a further investigation into the Podestas, which in turn would open up the Pandora's box into the activities of the Clintons and the DNC in the last election cycle, and probably deeper and further. I mean, I just think it's a ball of yarn, and we're just starting to pull the string on it just a little bit. I think if it totally unraveled, I think it would probably make a lot of people's heads explode. The level of corruption and lawlessness that kind of went on under the American people's noses for the past, 8 and beyond years. Because I think this goes all the way back to Clinton's first administration back in, starting from 1992.
Okay, but now touch on that a little bit more, too. Over the last couple of days, 48 hours, we're starting to hear about a hush or a slush fund to keep various individuals quiet so that congressmen and senators could just basically go ahead and perform their sinful deeds at the taxpayers' expense, $17 million hush fund. What are your thoughts about the sleaze in Washington? How are we ever going to clean this septic tank up?
Well, I think that people, these people that we put into office, we have to more carefully vet. I think that you have a ruling class mentality, which was obviously not the founders' intent. These guys weren't supposed to go to Congress and the Senate and spend their entire lives there. They were supposed to go do their term or two and then go back to their farms and go back to the private sector and live under the system that they themselves created. I think that a glaring example of the breakdown in that mentality was the fact that congressmen and senators were able to exempt themselves from Obamacare, which was the law of the land for everyone else. So there can't be one set of rules for people that are in charge and a separate set of rules for the private citizen. That's where you get an anarchy. That's where you get a breakdown in the civil society. And that's unfortunately where we are right now.
Is this a push, Julio, in your opinion, a push for the American public to have the door open to start demanding term limits?
I think so, yeah. I think I'm very much a proponent of term limits. I think that, the Senate, I think that they should probably even shorten a senator's term to 4 years. I don't think any elected official should have more than, an 8-year shot at anything. If you're a congressman, you should have a 4-term limit. If you're a senator, you should have a 2-term limit as it stands right now. Obviously the president has a 2-term limit. I don't think that these guys should be in that sort of position because they become so powerful that they sort of change, let's say if they have lobbyists in their ears in a particular industry, and let's say they're from a state which is, powerful in that industry. Let's say you're from, a state that produces steel or oil or coal or whatever the industry may be. You can kind of fashion that industry because you have legislative power in the best interest of people who are stuffing money in your pocket. At that point, you're not working for the American people. You're working for your funders.
Right. What about President Trump? Here's the final question, final thought for this morning to elaborate on. President Trump, no matter what he does, no matter what he says, or no matter who he's around, is being scrutinized by the liberal left media and absolutely attacked, whether it's the NFL, whether it has anything to do with various economic programs, the cancellation of trade talks or trade pacts, whether it has to do with visiting over in Asia with the Chinese minister, or whether it's Putin himself. No matter what he does, the liberal media is on the attack. What are your thoughts about what he's done so far in the first year?
I think that what he's done as much as he possibly could to deliver the promises that he made. I think he did a lot of it on Inauguration Day with some of the executive orders that he signed sending the letter of intent to try to pull us out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. And, basically clearly stating his intention to renegotiate a lot of things. Listen, he just made a deal that said, listen, we've been focusing on, LeVar Ball criticizing Trump for saving his son from 10 years of hard labor, and nobody talked about the fact that when Trump was in China, he negotiated a deal that was favorable to the American people to the tune of about $83 billion. Trying to close that trade deficit that we have with China. He's out there negotiating on our behalf. As far as the issues that the American people deal with, beyond that, like the health care and tax reform and a lot of that, I think that's more of a failure of Congress and Paul Ryan because where these bills originate out of is the legislative branch. The president can't sit there and be a dictator and say, these are the laws, I'm going to sign them into law. They does have to come through Congress. So because of this obstructionist, nonsense that we have coming from his own party, he hasn't accomplished nearly as much as he could have in his first year. So it may, if we don't score a legislative victory before the end of this legislative session at the end of the year, we're probably going to have a problem in the 2018 midterm.
I agree. Julio Rivera, editorial director, I should say, for Reactionary Times and host of Reactionary Times TV. I extend to you the very best of Thanksgiving wishes. Thank you for being on our program, and please come back.
Thank you so much. God bless you, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you, sir. Same to you. Good man, and enjoy having him on the program, Julio Rivera, and he's a sharp guy, knows and tells like it is. I appreciate that. We've got to get a weather forecast on here real quick, and then we're going to take some more phone calls. If you want to call and extend to someone a very happy Thanksgiving, feel free to use my number and do it over the radio. Maybe you've got somebody special you want to say a happy Thanksgiving to. We'll take a few minutes and let you do that on the air. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Right now, let's get the weather on here, brought to you by Scarro's Meats. Don Scarrow and the crew at 331 North Road, Jerome. This is good. I'm telling you, they've got the best retail meats over there. They've got smoked turkey, just $2.69 a pound. They've got marinated prime rib. If you have not had this, I urge you to get it, and you'll love it and go back for more. And they've got the smoked hams, $3.70 per pound. You're going to love all the breakfast meats like the bacon and the brats, everything delicious from Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, 324-7657. They now bring you the weather.
Well, things are going to be unseasonably beautiful for the holiday season. For your Zeb at the Ranch weather forecast, Scotty Cameron sitting in for Gina Jameson. Today, going to be beautiful, partly sunny skies, expecting a high around 60. Mostly clear for tonight. Then for Turkey Day, mostly sunny and a high of 62. Now for Thursday night, it looks like a 20% chance of rain, lows around 41. Then for Friday, mostly sunny, a high of 55. Friday night, partly cloudy and a low of 36. Then on Saturday, partly sunny, a high of 58. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, and that's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
And by the way, Scotty, happy Thanksgiving to you, too. Good boy over there at K-Bar and Cat, Scott. Appreciate everything you do. By the way, I want to remind you, too, that Scarro's Meats has that retail meat department right over there at their location at 331 North Road, Jerome, and you can go to their website, check it out, scarrowsmeats.com. They are changing the way we eat one delicious bite at a time at Scarro's Meats. Absolutely great. Like I said, I've got time for a couple of phone calls. Give me a jingle right now, and you can wish anybody you want to a very happy Thanksgiving. It's a great day tomorrow. Everybody getting together, sitting around the table, enjoying some great food, etc. I just love Thanksgiving, and certainly hope that you have one of the nicest with you and your family. In the United States, Thanksgiving Day, a holiday with special religious significance, and of course, I'm thanking God for everything I have, my family, my place, this job, this talk show, everything I'm very thankful for. And we've got so much, even with all the trials and tribulation, even with all the sleazy, shady politics, we've got a lot to be thankful for in this great country of America. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. If you got about an hour, I could tell you everything I'm thankful for, but I'll try to make a Reader's Digest version.
Okay, give us a condensation.
Well, I'm very thankful for you and your lovely wife and the show you put on, and Wheels over at the station for doing a great job that he does.
Thank you.
And for you informing everybody on what's happening, not your opinion, but what is happening, and letting us make our own decision.
You know, that's very kind of you. I appreciate that very much, and you've been so supportive of this program and so supportive of our lunch bunch. And by the way, that leaves me an open door right there to say to all the lunch bunchers, God bless you, have a wonderful day tomorrow. But you know, Doug, thank you. It's people like you that have helped make this program grow and grow to levels that I never anticipated.
Well, we appreciate you, and that's why I do what I do because I appreciate what you're doing.
Well,
another thing too, I'd like to thank God for sending His Son to die on a cross for us, so we can have salvation. And
absolutely.
Also, I'd like to thank the broken road I went down to find my lovely bride.
You have a very nice wife. I think both of us married way higher than the basketball hoop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We really...
Our let's see, how in the heck can I put that? I'm having a brain fart.
Well, I could honestly say in my case, I married somebody that was at the top of the mountain when I was crawling around on my hands and knees down in the valley.
Exactly, yep. Yeah, I wonder about her decision, but she tells me every day that she made the right decision. So,
well, you're a good man, and you really have a great family, and I wish you and yours a very happy Thanksgiving. And make sure you take that leather punch and punch a couple of extra holes in that belt.
I'm getting me some of those stuffing pants.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna wear sweatpants out there for dinner.
I'm not going to do that because, boy, that would be an open invitation for disaster. But anyhow, very happy Thanksgiving, my dear friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. Take care. That was nice. Really nice. Hey, by the way, get ready for wintertime driving and be sure and stop over to any one of the 7 locations of your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh, my. All 7 locations serving you with the best in tires for getting you through the muck and the yuck and the ice and the snow. And, oh, brother, they've got all the different tread designs. They've got them for your car, pickup, SUV. They know tires. They know tires, and they can best pick out the ones that are going to fit your driving conditions and needs. They've got all the tire chains. They've got, of course, all the batteries. And you want to make sure you get your battery checked. And if it's not going to register like it's going to keep doing the job, get a new one. They've got the best right there at all 7 locations. Front end alignments, brake service, shocks and struts, all of this to make sure you're ready for winter time driving. At your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. They wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. I do too. Deanne does. We all do wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. Wheels, now doggone it, you eat, and enjoy tomorrow, and then we'll talk to you again next Monday.
I definitely will. I hope you and Deanne have a great Thanksgiving. I know I talked to her a little bit when she called in, and so get your family together, have a great time, pray. We got a lot to be thankful for.
Amen.
Especially like everybody said, we live in a messed up world, and it's great to be able to wake up every morning and still be able to breathe and enjoy our day. So, yes, from me and my mom and everybody, well, happy Thanksgiving.
There you go, buddy. And thank you. We appreciate you. God bless everybody. We're going to be back here next Monday at 8:06 right here on Zebeth Ranch. And remember, the way things were are the way things ought to be. See you later, Wheels. Goodbye, everybody. God bless.